Hi, this is Wendy with Country Bumpkin Homestead, and Benjamin's going to be holding Clover for us when we disbud her. Now I've got Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
I've got Sarah. She's my good friend and mentor. She's helped me so much in learning about goats, and she's going to show us some things that we need to take care of while disbudding goats.
Okay, the first thing you need to remember is they need a little bit of pain medicine, or at least something to help them get through this process. It's a little bit painful. Okay, I'm going to give the baby 2 shots. One is for pain, which is Prevail. It's something you have to get at your veterinarian. The normal dose for goats is 1 cc per 100 pounds. This goat is about 12 to 13 pounds, so she's going to get 2 cc's. Baby goats have a tendency to be a little curious, and this little guy is trying to eat the medicine. Now you're going to get a burn, baby. You can get this pain medicine at your veterinarian. It's fairly expensive. It's about $40 to $60 per bottle, but if you have goats, you're going to be using it a lot. Things like childbirth or baby birth and infections, things of that nature. The second shot that the baby's going to get is Clostridium prefringens type C and D and tetanus toxoid. The tetanus is what we're primarily targeting in this case, but it's an injection that the goats need for when they're 1 month old. And so this baby's going to get 2.5 cc's. That's a regular dose for every single goat. They get that once a year. This baby needs the tetanus because she's going to be having an injury to her head. You want to bring me the baby and we'll give her her shots before we get started? I'm going to hold her in my lap. Both of these shots are subcutaneous. They're under the skin. Normally you give a baby a shot in the neck, behind the leg in the front, or behind the leg in the back. The first one I'm going to give her is her pain medicine. She won't feel this one, but very much. So I'm going to give her that one as a starter. It goes, you pull up a little bit of skin, poke the needle in, making sure you don't go all the way through the skin, and you give her the shot. She's complaining mostly because I'm holding her and pinching her. All done. Now the next shot, I normally give a CDT under a leg. I think I'm going to turn her and do the other side. I usually give them in the back leg. This shot tends to give a little bit of a lump. So I give the shot under the back leg so it doesn't leave an unsightly lump in case you have to sell it your goat later on. She felt that one. I used a 2.5 cc or a 3 cc syringe with a 22 gauge needle. A larger needle would be a little bit too much for this baby. Now, she's all done. Yes, it wasn't terrible, was it? No, it just wasn't terrible. Now, she's got pretty developed horns. If you take a real close look, you'll see her horns are pretty developed. We're going to use a disbudding iron, like this one. They're extremely hot. Now, to test this iron and make sure it's ready, if you look, you'll see I'm testing it on a 2x4. And take a look at that nice round circle. That tells me that the iron is ready for her. We need to get a good hold on this baby goat. Front legs and back legs. And we need to get a good hold on her head. Tuck her ear down so that we don't burn it. Now if you take a close look at this disbudding iron, there's a hole in the middle. That hole is going to go over her horn bud. Now I held that for just a couple of seconds. That's the first burn, and if you look at her head, there's a round yellow circle. That circle needs to be copper colored when we're all done. The next burn is going to be 5 seconds.
3, 4, 5. See the circle? It's copper color. We're not quite done yet. We have to get rid of this little bud here. We have to burn it. Notice she's not crying much yet now. That's because she doesn't feel this part of the burn. You want to make sure it's good and cauterized. Now we're going to give her one last cautery. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're done on that side.
What's the best age to disbud?
3 to 7 days.
3 to 7 days. So we waited 2 weeks for her, and that's why they're so developed.
We waited a long time for her. She should have been disbudded much, much earlier.
Okay.
Now she's got a stub on her head, and we may have to recauterize her at a later date.
Oh no. Okay. Well, lesson learned. At this point, do we need an ice pack or anything to put on there?
It would be a good idea, but she'll be okay without it.
Notice she's already stopped collaring.
Oh, okay.
It's done on the one side. We're going to have to do the other side, but we're going to give her a minute to adjust.
So we've got her flipped over, and we're going to get ready to do the other side.
Okay. Now, remember how we did the first one? We're trying for the copper ring. And she's still got a little bit of a bud, so we need to make sure that the other side is well taken care of. Now I'm holding her head up
Against my chest. If you notice that, she's somewhat incapacitated when you hold a goat's head up like that. They're much more incapacitated. If their head is down, they have more, this kind of neurologically incapacitates them. Not completely though. Straight over. To get to the base. I know. Let's try to get that little bud out of there. She's slipping off my lap. Okay, get your head up there now, baby.
Did we get the copper ring?
No, we didn't get the copper ring. That was just to get the basic hair out of the way.
Oh, okay.
Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Now we got the...
No, we don't have a copper ring. We have kind of a yellow ring.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to try and get rid of this little nub.
That's kind of a root, isn't it?
That's the root, really.
Kind of like the root of a wart or something. That reminds me of.
Well, at this point in a baby's horn development, it's part of their skull.
Now I've heard of goats having injuries after the fact. Can you tell us a little bit of how you would treat that if, for instance, if it starts to bleed?
If it starts to bleed, you just put a little bit of medicine on it, and I'll show you what that medicine is. It's in my bag after we're done.
Okay.
Hold on. Spider on your.
That's all. I don't mind about spiders. Okay, baby. We're ready for the last burn, okay? 1, 2. Oops. Got it. Do it. Your head got there.
She's a little bit big too.
4.
I guess that's another advantage of doing that earlier is they're not quite so big. They can't fight so much.
See, she has a little copper ring around there. Okay, now let's let her calm down a little bit. Give her some loves. Tell her we still love her.
Got those raisins?
Baby goats love raisins. All goats love raisins. And sometimes we like to tell them we still love them by giving them a couple raisins. Oh, look, she's looking for food. So now you can tell she's not really too mad at us because she's eating this lovely raisin. Yes, you forgive me? Obviously, she's not in terrible pain. Number one, she's eating.
Number 2, she's taking it right out of this gentleman's hand. She's sitting calmly, so you know we're not causing her extreme pain at this point.
Now, Buckwheat, he's like, where's the raisins? He's like, he smells something good and he hears her smacking. So he's like, where's the food?
Now, one of the things that can happen when you're disbudding a kid is that heat goes straight through their skull into their brain, and you can cause an kind of encephalitis. So, when you're done disbudding a goat, you want to let them down on the ground and see if they can, number 1, walk around. She's curious, she's eating, she's able to walk, she's not stumbling around, staggering, and look, she's eating grass. All is forgiven. You have a baby goat who is in perfectly fine condition, and she's clearly not suffering. No, just show a close-up of her head.
All right.
See her little head where she's got those little nubs on her head? They're probably going to scab over at some point. And when that happens, the scab will come off and it'll bleed.
Okay.
Now at that point, you probably don't need to do anything. But if for some reason she starts headbutting with everybody and she bleeds a lot, then you might need to put a little blood stop on it. Okay, blood stop is a powder. You see right here? Mm-hmm. You get this at any feed store.
All right.
When you're trimming hooves, if their foot starts to bleed, like you've got a little close, you put this blood stop powder on it and you kind of rub it in a little bit.
And it'll stop it pretty quick.
It doesn't stop it completely, but it controls it really well.
All right.
It helps cause it to clot.
Yeah.
And helps control bleeding.
Awesome.
So you can use it on the baby's scabs if they're bleeding heavily.
Right.
If you've got a goat who knocks a horn off, you can put it in the horn sinus cavity. That's that little hole that forms.
Right.
And it should control the bleeding.
Okay. Awesome. And because she was a couple weeks old, if it does start to grow back, then we'll just do it again.
Yeah.
And
we don't want to do it too many times, but generally sometimes you can just trim them off with a pair of snippers. And they'll stop growing.
Oh, okay.
But if they don't stop growing, then we'll burn them. Again.
We're going to let Buckwheat keep his horns, and we're going to weather him. This is the goal, but why do you suggest that we disbud our doelings?
Does tend to be more aggressive with one another. When they have babies, they're more aggressive with each other in a herd. Bucks are aggressive with each other as boys when they're mating, but their sparring is rarely fatal. Does, on the other hand, can injure each other quite severely. Oddly enough, they tend to be more aggressive in a herd. They fight for position in the herd. They fight for who's the queen and who's not the queen. And they can tend to ram each other in the side when they're pregnant, which can cause miscarriage.
Right.
Bucks will spar back and forth. They will fight, but you will rarely see a buck kill another buck. It does happen, but almost always accidentally.
All right.
I like bucks because they tend to be sweet and personable. Does, I love does, but does can be kind of nasty to each other. And so I will disbud a doe to keep it. If you look at her Buckwheat over here, she's trying to get into the feed.
Yeah.
Now, the only problem you'll have with the horned buck is they tend to get their heads stuck in things. So you need to make sure that there are no openings that they can get their head through, or they'll get them stuck, like in the hay feeder or in the fence. Right. But another advantage of having a buck with horns on it is, if they do tend to get a little aggressive with you, you can grab them by the horns, throw them on the ground, and lay on top of them, and they'll never do it again.
Oh, so that's how you show dominance.
That's how I show dominance to a buck, and it only takes 1 or 2 tries. You grab them by the horns, grab them by the opposite leg from the horn, turn their head and kick their feet out from under them, and they're on the ground in seconds. And it's amazing how big a buck can be, and you can still do that.
You want to share that one story you told me about that one Ian Artemis Flan was my biggest buck. He weighed 250 pounds.
He was bottle fed, so he was real friendly to me, but one day he decided he was going to challenge me to a duel. He jumped up on his hind legs and challenged me and came running at me and stopped within inches. Well, I decided that I'd better make sure that he knew I was in charge. So I grabbed him by the horn, reached under his belly and grabbed the opposite leg, twisted his head and knocked him to the ground and laid on top of him. He never did it again. I was slapping his face gently and saying, "No, no, stop it. You're never going to do that again." He cried, he wailed, he moaned, wah, 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 wah. And then he got up and he followed behind me, trying to suck my fingers like I was his mommy. This is a 250-pound buck with 30-inch horns.
And he just wanted to get your blessing or something.
He did, and he never bothered me again. When he was little, he did the same thing to Mama, my head goat, and she kept stepping aside every time he came crashing down, and then she finally knocked him over and laid on him, the same thing that I did when he was an adult. And he ran in my house and ran under the bed and hid. So I learned from Mama, my head goat, what to do with a naughty buck.
She taught you.
She taught me, yes she did.
That's funny. Now, what was that medicine?
This is Prevail. It's a medicine that...
Let's let them see the spelling. And you got that from your vet?
I got that from my vet. It has to be a trusted vet. They won't give it to you otherwise.
And the CDT, that can be, for the tetanitis, that can be picked up just about anywhere.
You can pick that up at your local feed store. They all carry it. You can use CDT for cows, and you can use CDT for goats. The dose is the same, 2.5
Okay.
milligrams.
Awesome. Any last words?
Love your babies. Don't use paste. It really hurts the baby goats.
What's
Disbudding paste. They use it on calves. But baby goats, they will tend to scrape at it. They can get it in their eyes and they can be blinded.
Ooh, that's good advice.
There's a new method that they're trying, which is clove oil. Watch the research because it's much more humane. When they have the doses correct, it'll probably be a much better choice. But it's not ready yet.
Awesome. You've been such a great help. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and happy disbudding. It's not as hard as it looks.
It looks pretty scary to me. I bottle fed all 3 of my does. It's been a lot of fun watching them grow up. Learning how to take care of them was scary. I had to do a lot of research, and luckily I had good friends that encouraged me and told me what they knew. That's what my channel is all about, encouraging others. I'd like to invite you to show your support by liking, commenting, and subscribing. Thanks for watching this video and have a blessed day.